Welcome. We're here with Juan, Manny Gonzalez, candidate for mayor. He's been a Lawrence firefighter for about 18 to 20 years, so 2 years as an auxiliary member. He's a partner at Heal Lawrence, a nonprofit that goes out and helps members of this community. He's been in Lawrence for about 30 years and has had 3 children and who went through the Lawrence school system. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We thought that, let's begin this discussion with telling us a little bit about yourself. I think this is your first time. You've been a public servant for 20 years. You're definitely involved in the community. I think this is an opportunity to let people that might not know who you are, to tell them about yourself, and also what's inspired you to run for mayor.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Nobel. Came to Lawrence in 1982. I was 15, turning on 16, so I went right into Lawrence High School. Didn't speak any English, so I'm doing a little better today. 3 kids. My wife, 27 years. She's a teacher. Teaches at the LA school. Public safety has been my top priority. People say, why are you coming out of your comfort zone? You've always been a relaxed person, serving the community. I getting to the point I was tired of this business as usual that, the city of Lawrence has been struggling for years. It's not just now, but I think it has reached this level that I said, I don't want to do what other people have done. They pack up, they leave. I want to do something. I want to step up from being a firefighter, and I want to serve the community at a high level. And even though I'm not a politician, I don't have the experience in politics that others do. I know I'm confident that I can be a leader that can lead this city into a better days. So I have to go through the political process to get to where I need to be to make those decisions. I believe I have good ideas, and usually you pass them on, but they fall into deaf ears. They don't get implemented. So I said, you know what? Instead of just leaving the city that I love, the city that's given me everything, I want to step up and I want to do something about it.
Great. You mentioned that there are people that you have ideas and that they won't necessarily be implemented within the current administration or within the past 10 years, and I guess you're assuming that other people have ideas as well.
Absolutely.
So what would you do to try to get those ideas implemented? Or if you're a mayor, what process would you put in place so that people can give you that input?
As an elected mayor, I would definitely, one of the first things I would do is just call for a department head meeting, and including people from recreation department. I'm a big believer that sports can reach out to different age levels, which is the young people right now that I believe cannot be pushed to the side. I want to concentrate on that. So I want to put my ideas to department heads, which is school department, public fire, police, DPW. Get them all together in a meeting and open lines of communications. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to get the message and your ideas out to people. I want to work with the youth that are out there spray painting, graffiti. I want to know what it is that we can do to motivate them. Bring back basketball, open gyms at night, stuff like that. So it's going to take a long time, but we got to start somewhere. And I want to start reaching out to the young people. I think that's going to be key in this city to start working to them.
I think it's a great segue to sort of our next topic, which is education. Reaching out with the youth. We have currently a system that has been taken over by the state. We have a receiver/superintendent who has been quoted saying that the state might be here for about 7 years. We have a school committee that's essentially is still being elected by the people, but it's essentially defunct because they're not really involved with the discussions that are going on within the school system. The mayor has been absent through a lot of their meetings. What would you be doing as mayor to try to change that?
Well, Pavel, as elected mayor, I would be the chairman of the school committee, and I hope that this election, and when the people go out to vote, they vote for dedicated people, because dedication is one of my 3 top things on my phone card. So dedication, you need people in that school committee that are going to be dedicated. The mayor's got to be dedicated as well. If you're going to be the chairman, you got to lead by example. So we got to work with Superintendent Riley from the state. So there's really not much I can do right now, but we can support him. And we can keep reaching out, work with the school committee, see if we can return some of the voice, some of the power back to the members. I mean, school committee members are putting themselves to the election process. So I think it's only fair that they be given a little bit more to do, more power, that voice be returned to them. Get together, get the parents involved, get the students on track and support them. Because it doesn't matter if it's the state, if it's the feds, if we don't work together as parents, students, and teachers, we always going to be struggling on it. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do with education. You just need dedicated people that are going to try to show the state that we're taking the necessary steps to regain our schools, to take our schools back. It's going to take a while, but we should be marching towards that goal, that our school system belong to the city.
You said, so essentially, so there is a lot you can do then.
So there is a lot you can do, and that's without money. Dedication, we always talk, the city has no money, the city has no money. There's a lot that you can do by being dedicated and just put the extra time and show that we can.
Okay. So how do you as mayor get that done? How do you inspire the community members to get involved, the parents to get involved, and the students and teachers to reach higher levels than what they had before?
Well, call for meetings, whether it's get an auditorium, hear from the people, hear from the teachers, hear from the parents, get them together, show them that you're dedicated and that you want them to be as well. Motivate them, let them know that it's their children's, our children's education. I mean, my children are all grown, my youngest is 18, but I still got family in the system here, and I care about them. So you do have to have some kind of lines. That's why lines of communications are very important from the get-go. Superintendent Riley, we got to talk to him. I got to get to neighborhoods that some parents don't get involved. I said, as a dedicated mayor, I will be there. I'll knock on your house and I'll get you on. I said, this is what we need to do. I grew up here. I know what it's to live in tough neighborhoods. Let's get into, I'm interested in doing what's best for the city. I need your support. Let's work together. Working together is the only way we're going to get it done.
Okay. So under your administration, would you see the state being here for 7 years if you're doing everything that you feel like needs to be done?
I think it's going to be, that's a tough one to answer right now. I would definitely have to monitor their progress as it's moving along and see what they're doing. I think the state is going to, stay as long as they need to, but we got to do our part to work with them hand in hand. And I believe that they will return the schools back to us when they feel confident that we're going to be able to handle it.
Is there anything that you think the school department should be doing or should be doing better that you would make it your prime issue when it comes to education?
I think, again, I'm huge on communication. There's a lot of people out there because they see the layoffs that are going on and they're confused. They don't know where the lines are. They're saying, well, underperforming teachers are being let go, decent teachers are being let go. So more communication. I think that the superintendent can communicate and so people can understand and grasp what's going on. There's a lot of confusion right now. So opening more lines of communications.
Okay. What thoughts on sort of the college rate, students going to college, or dropout rate, pregnancy rate? Any thoughts that you have around that?
Right now, I really don't have any thoughts about it in terms of rates and stuff like that. I've been concentrating on other stuff, and being the first time that I run for office, of course, it's going to take me time to, but I'm a quick learner, and I can get there.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that one of your biggest issue is public service. I want to know why that's one of your biggest issues, but also I want you, while you're answering that, I want you to address the issue that if you get elected mayor, you will have the opportunity to appoint the next chief of police. As you know, Chief Romero is resigning September 3rd after serving for about 14, 16 years.
Yes.
So your thoughts, what are you looking for as for a new chief of police, and why is public safety your most important issue?
Public safety is my number one, because I truly believe that public safety, I consider police, fire, DPW. Some people think it's just police, other things it's just fire. We need all three, especially in the winters when we need to go put a fire. We need DPW to be cleaning our streets to be able to get us there. Quality of life is everyone's most important thing. So police department, we want to be safe. Fire department, we're also going to keep you safe. So like I said, the streets got to be clean. Basically, I've been doing it for 18 years as a firefighter, 2 years as an auxiliary police officer. So I've seen the good days and bad days in terms of neighborhoods that were having a tough time. I remember back when Springfield Street was only one way in, one way out, and I was bad. I was there, so I've seen what it is to. I know what it takes to keep the city safe. I know that again we go back to dedication. You need to work. I think that if you work honestly with the police department and with integrity, I think they get to respect you as a mayor, and they know that you're working hand in hand with them. So I've been living it, not just witnessing. I don't only see it, I lived it. I lived with, especially the last 3 years, being a public servant. So I know what it is to be, as I say, being pushed to the side as almost a finger pointing the problems here. The problem in this community has got to be dealt together. Public safety is going to be number one. My family lives in Lawrence. I want to make sure that when I go to work, they feel safe. I want to make sure that people that are looking to move in here feel safe. It's the only way we're going to attract people that want to move into the city. Businesses.
And how do you do that? How do they feel safe?
Well, basically right now, we all talk about the police department being understaffed. I believe that neighborhood outreaching, just myself getting into this neighborhoods that need the attention, and getting people motivated. Right now, people don't care about watching out for each other. Certain places do, but we got to get that throughout the whole city. So in the meantime, until we can get some more money here to hire more police officers, more firefighters, we got to do our own little piece, just little input from everyone. Make the phone calls that you need to make. Whether we come up with an anonymous line that people feel safe calling it, because everyone's terrified that if you place a phone call, your name is going to be out there, they're going to be calling you names. So we got to show them that the mayor's here to talk to you one-on-one. You can call me, you can call whoever, we put a chief, interim chief. So you got to develop that confidence in those neighborhoods. When people start doing that, it's just going to go citywide. People are going to start talking. They're going to start talking. Lawrence is bad. We'll walk the streets, and then we got to sell the city for what it's worth. Because I think that we cheat the city a lot. Lawrence has a lot of potential, but there's so much negativity going on right now that nobody really feels safe. So a lot of positive little things happening, like the ones that we've been happening lately. That's what's going to bring it back.
I want to address the positivity a little bit later on. Anything specific that you're looking for in the new chief of police? Like what would you be looking for?
Well, experience, obviously. Somebody that has that's dedicated. If it could be bilingual, that would be a plus. I mean, we know the ratio, so speaking both languages would help a lot. And I'm going to give a chance, whether it's a local, somebody who knows the city very well. And I'm also going to be looking outside. But I think somebody who's experienced, dedicated, see the resume. But again, I won't be able to make that decision on my own. I have to put a search committee together, people that have experience in police work, and some people from the community activists, and they will help me make that determination. But I think I would look for dedication, experience. If he speaks more than one language, I would be great.
And one question that I have is, I know in the past this has been an issue. I'm not exactly sure if it's still an issue, but there was always dealing with police brutality. So there's a lot of people in the community that have said that at one time or another they have dealt with the police brutality issue here in the city, or that a police officer has acted rude, or whatever the case is. So we talk about the community respecting police officers, but also police officers respecting the community. How would you address that issue?
I believe that the way you address that, and for me as a public safety officer, I respect the police department, and I know that they go into tough situations, and a lot of times people don't like what they do. I'm glad that I'm on the fire side, because people see us coming and they say, oh, he's coming to help me. So people have this notion that police officers are only there to bust you, arrest you, and stuff like that. That's a tough job to be doing. This is tough community police. So I believe that community policing, getting these officers into these neighborhoods that people can relate to them, they learn their first name basis, I think they build this bond with each other, and they become friends. I mean, they're not friends to the point that all they're going to be doing is, kidding around, disrespecting, because now we become too tight of a friendship. But they get to know each other. And I think by building that bond, officers, whether it's walking the neighborhoods and having meetings, not just 2 or 3 times a year, but more often. I know it's tough, I know they're short-staffed, but if we can have more meetings within neighborhood groups, I think we can build that very community.
And essentially, you're saying you're changing the mood in the communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that people have to start thinking they're there to protect us, not to abuse us or rough us up, whatever. Let's work together. Get to know them, they'll get to know you, and things will be anything.
On that, I think one of the issues that's facing the city, has faced it for more than several decades, is sort of this, not just the mood or reputation, but like this divide, North versus South, Anglo versus Latino. Now it seems to be more of different political candidates versus each other. Like you're in this camp, you're in the other camp. What would you do? It's a Gonzalez administration, day one, to bring everybody together.
Well, unity to me is everything. People ask me when I first came out to run, where are you going to pull your votes from? And I said, throughout the city. I came here at the age of 15 with nothing. The city has given me everything. I remember the Anglo kids on the basketball team, Lawrence, teaching me English so that I can understand what the coach was saying. So I don't see what maybe other people see. I love everybody in the city. My kids, if you talk about racism or racial stuff, my kids don't know what that is. And we know, we cannot be blind. There is discrimination, there is racism in the world. In my eyes, it doesn't exist. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, it's just that I try to mediate and to remedy things. If I know that there is division, then my job is to try to unite. I have never played this, and I never believed in this North versus South. Right now, I hear more, like you said, it's more North, South, East, West. I want Lawrence to come together. It's the only way that we're gonna push this together. But it's funny how some candidates, when it's election time, they don't see the river dividing north-south. They go over there to get votes as well, or they come up north to get votes. So at that time, it's one city. I want them to see the one city all the time. I wish I was a fourth bridge that can just unite both cities so no one, we have a beautiful river, and it's too bad that that's what they use it for, to be dividing. I believe unity is what's gonna get us together. I feel great because I've been getting support from South Lawrence, North Lawrence, East, West. So that's what I'm about. I want to unite people.
So how would you do that?
It should, again, you have to let people know that they matter, that they count. Have events in which you gather everyone. Little leagues, I'm going to use Little Leagues for an example. Right now, Will Medina from Mount Vernon, they're trying to run a tournament that all the leagues play each other. You let the kids know that it's okay from the north side Lawrence to go play Mount Vernon. And that a kid from a poor field can go play on a nice field. So that's just a tiny example of what it is to just interact, spend more time with each other. And if people are gonna feel better about themselves. And that's just, you gotta start baby steps, but we're gonna get there.
Almost, for the closing up, for individuals like you said, I don't think there's a lot of people in the community that, perhaps they've seen you coming into a building, but they don't know you by name. So if you could talk to us and how, what would you say to those people that are undecided right now? And, why should they vote for you to be mayor?
Well, first of all, the unknown person. I consider myself the refreshing alternative. I'm that person that has no political tail, not involved in any controversial issues, whether it's politics or whatever it be. I'm a doer. People know me for doing more than saying. I'm not a big talker, even though I know I can step it up when I need to communicate. As I've been saying, communication is big, and since I started running for mayor, I've been talking to people. One thing that politicians do is that they talk a lot and they don't listen as much, and we should listen as much. So what I bring to the table is hard work, honesty, integrity, dedication, family values to me are huge. I've been with my wife 27 years. I have 3 kids. I'm a taxpayer. So basically, if you're looking for a perfect candidate, I'm not it. But if you're looking for somebody that likes to get things done, somebody that can lead without necessarily thinking that I got to do whatever it is to win because I depend on politics, that's not me. I have 2 jobs, and so politics, I'm going through the process because I want to get to that seat where I can lead the city into better days.
And how does someone, if someone wants to find out more about your campaign or wants to get involved, how would they do that?
I actually would say that you can visit gonzalezforlawrence.com, and if they feel comfortable enough, they want to talk to me face to face, and they want to invite me over, they can even call my cell phone number, which is 978-382-2792. I will be glad to reach out to people. Say, I haven't seen you in this neighborhood, I haven't seen you here. Lawrence is pretty big. And I've been trying to do as much as I can knocking so you can see me face to face, so you can put that name to that face. Juan Manny Gonzalez, and then Manny goes back to high school. People couldn't pronounce Manuel, so they said Manny, and Manny stuck, so I put it there. So 256 Essex Street is our headquarters, so they can stop by and visit us, or they can just call me, like I said. I would love to stop by and chat with them, listen to their concerns, ideas. I need everyone to talk to me. I cannot do it alone. Some people think that they can do it alone. I can't. I need everyone to come together and help me get this done.
Okay. Just in closing, is there any issue that you feel strong on that we perhaps have not touched on that you want to say a few words on?
No, I think that the public safety, the school system, and the economic development, which, I want to touch up on that economic development because people say, how are you going to bring businesses to come here? And this is why I said first we got to work on cleaning this image, let people feel comfortable, feel safe in the city. The small businesses that are here that I've been walking to the Pacific Mill, for example, telling me how bad they're feeling, that they might be evicted because they're bringing low-income housing and that they got to be evicted. It's not that I'm against low-income housing, it's just that we got to have a balance. Let's let this small businesses grow within our community, and we can use them as role models to attract the bigger corporations. That, I'm tired of seeing everyone go to Lowell, Havel, Methuen. It's like they skip lines. We're right here, we're near the river, near 495, 93, 213, 110. We easy in and out. We have a lot of potential. Some good things are happening. As an elected mayor, I just want to add more of that positive stuff that needs to be happening here. Let's bring Lawrence back.
Thank you for bringing that up. It's an important item that we should touch on. So economic development, how do you bring different jobs in?
So basically, for me, I'm not gonna, and I brought that up because it really matters to me. I'm looking to sit down with Salvatore Lupolis of the world, New Balance, even people in Lowell. How did Lowell come back? So I'm in the process of getting those learning from people that have done it. I never done it, but I know I can put the team together to find out how others did it so we can do it on Mars. But again, it's just, they start with the small ones let's try to retain the base that we have now. Because if we don't, then how can we attract anybody when everybody's bailing out of the city? It's almost like people, make people feel safe, they're gonna stay. Same thing with businesses, work with them. Find ways to keep them here, and others will see that something nice is happening on Mars, and then they will want to come.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here, and good luck, sir.
Thank you for having me.